William and Peggy Stephenson were found murdered inside their home located in Florence, Kentucky. If anyone has driven down I-75, right when you get out of Cincinnati, Ohio, you drive through Florence, Kentucky, and there's a big water tower right off the side of I-75, and it says Florence, y'all. If you've driven by, you know. You just don't forget it. Now, that's where they lived. Small town of Florence, Kentucky. But this is where it gets weird. So they didn't show up for church at the Sunday service because William, he ran a chapel at a truck stop. Can't make this up. Discussing this on Reddit, and people are like, what's the big deal? There's chapels everywhere for different walks of life. I just think this shit is weird, okay? And I'll tell you why. Was there like a shortage of chapel? I mean, is this something that really happens? Like, is there clergy in truck stops across the nation? Because I've never heard of such. Okay, so he was a member of the Union Baptist Church. They both were, actually. They were members of the Union Baptist Church, but he also, Bill, did Sunday service at the Truckers Chapel. And it was located at the Travel America truck stop in Florence for many years. And when Bill was murdered, someone else took over the chapel. So there's someone else running the Trucker Chapel at the Travel America truck stop in Florence. I've never heard of there being a chapel for truck drivers. I know that there's a lot of really good guys that are truck drivers, but I also know that that is a way that people traffic children as well. So this gets even more disturbing. They have had 2 So that is the thing, Daisy. Yes, Samantha, you got the right case. Okay, so there was 2 full-time detectives that have been working the case. And get this, they have traveled to several states to investigate several different leads. So you've got truck drivers from all over the country. You've got these 2 that end up murdered. And I'm glad you told me that, Daisy. I feel better about that. Because I was like, oh my God, is this like some kind of a ring? You just never know. You never know. Now, their nephew unalived someone in Indiana after their death, like 3 years after they died. And we're gonna deep dive this mofo on Wednesday evening in Patreon. We have to. It's too weird not to. But at any rate, detectives have interviewed over 200 people in this investigation and collected DNA from several people affiliated with the case. The Kentucky State Police Crime Lab in Frankfort, Kentucky recently discovered an unidentified DNA profile. This DNA profile was found in multiple locations at the crime scene. The Boone County Sheriff's Department released this information on August 30th, 2012. At a press conference held in front of the building where the murders were committed. Detectives now have the genetic profile of the person responsible for the murder and will continue their aggressive search for the killer. Now, this is from, 2012. But they have this DNA. So I'm wondering, you guys, with all of this genetic testing that's being done, you can join my Patreon for $4.99 a month. That is the cheapest tier. And you get your money's worth, I promise. But, it's crazy. So this guy unalived these people. I guess they were bludgeoned and stabbed. And then every single room in the entire house was staged. And it was kind of set up like pictures of people, like, and they're not giving details. They're keeping a lot of this, most of this, to where they and the perpetrator are the only ones who know. So, but they did say that there was pictures that were moved, like, arranged in a way, like, I like this person, I don't like this person. So was it a family member? I don't know. But let's talk about the nephew. Okay? And we'll go deeper on Wednesday. Let's talk about the nephew and what he did. And everybody on Reddit that I've run into that knows these people said that this man was the sweetest man. They were 74 years old. It is really creepy. All right, so then here is what the nephew did. So the Stephenson's nephew, and his name, I had to look up his name because I couldn't remember. Charles Robert Stephenson. He is facing, okay, so he unalived Aurora resident Lee Jennings, who was 67 years old. And he was questioned following the aunt and uncle's murders, but Charles Stephenson has not been charged in connection with them. And they say that the nephew's DNA doesn't match, so it wasn't him. There were Wiccan things left there, and it's rumored that they were also left at Delphi as well, that there were some Wiccan references left at that scene and this scene. So this Stephenson's nephew, you guys, you would think it would make sense, like he did it, right? That he did it because he just unalived this other lady a few years later that was 67 years old. But he didn't. It's not his DNA. So Lee Jennings, Leigh, it's a female, Lee Jennings, and that was in Dearborn County, I think it's Ohio. But he unalived her using a pepper grinder and a skillet. A pepper grinder and a skillet. So we're going to get into the nephew's case. We're going to deep dive the Stephenson couple case, see what's going on with that. Let's look up this chapel, see what it's all about, see who's running it now. Maybe we can talk to them about this case and get some information out there. The Cox County, I think it's Cox. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Cox. Detective Cox is one of the detectives. He's done podcasts. He's like all about getting this information out there. If you go to the Boone County Sheriff's Office website, they literally have this story right on their website. They want to catch this mofo. They want to catch him. So it's crazy that their nephew did this horrific thing, but he didn't do it to them. He didn't do it to them. So who did? You know, and that's why I'm asking, like, is Richard Allen part of something else? Like, I don't know. Did Richard Allen, was he a truck driver at some point? I don't know. Did he always work at CVS? When did Richard Allen go to school to be a pharmaceutical assistant? That's what I'd like to know. Because, you know, you have to get certified for that. So when did Richard Allen go to school? Was it later in life? You know what I mean? What was he doing before that? Could he have possibly been a truck driver? I don't know. It just seems odd because these people only live like 3.5 hours from Delphi. 3.5 hours. Even though it's Kentucky, it's super close. Like, it's super close to the Ohio line. And then I think about Keegan Kline and his dad and Mark Klein and chat. I'm just kidding.
Yikes.
Mark's going to kill me. Just kidding. Bad choice of words. Shit.